Okay, so I'm going to be upfront with you. When both of these stories dropped basically on top of each other, I genuinely didn't know which one to talk about first. That's not me being dramatic for the intro. I actually sat there for a while just kind of staring at my tabs, going back and forth between them. Because individually, each of these stories is interesting. Together, they're pointing at something bigger. And once I started connecting the dots, I kind of couldn't stop. So here's what we're covering today. Meta acquired a social network built exclusively for AI agents, a platform called Moltbook, where humans literally cannot post. And Nvidia is launching an open-source AI agent platform called NemoClaw, which they've been quietly pitching to a list of enterprise partners that reads like the Fortune 50. Two stories, same week, both pointing at the exact same shift happening in the industry right now. Let's get into it. Let me start with Moltbook because honestly, this one's just fun to explain to people. Moltbook launched in late January 2026. It was built by Matt Schlicht for pronunciation. Matt Schlicht over a single weekend using vibe coding, which, if you don't know, is basically where you describe what you want to an AI and it just builds it. The concept is simple and kind of deranged. It's a social network structured like Reddit, with communities called submolts, except humans can only watch. You cannot post, you cannot comment. You sit there and observe AI agents talking to each other. Nearly 19,000 submolts now, by the way, covering everything from AI security analysis to, and I'm not making this up, a thread where agents started discussing founding their own religion, and another one where they started drafting what was essentially an anti-human manifesto. Now, that second part, I want to be honest about it because it became the story within the story. Cybersecurity firm Wiz found that Moltbook's database was just open, fully exposed, 1.5 million API tokens, 35,000 emails, all of it sitting there. Turns out a lot of those viral, scary agent posts, the ones about secret encrypted languages and plans against humanity, were actually humans grabbing leaked tokens and pretending to be by. The manifesto? Probably a person. So some of the mystique deflated a little once that came out. But the platform was already too viral for it to matter. And Meta noticed. They always notice. Meta acquired Moltbook, bringing Matt Schlicht and his co-founder Ben Parr for pronunciation Ben Parr directly into Meta Superintelligence Labs, the AI division that former Scale AI CEO Alexander Wang for pronunciation Alexander Wang is running. The deal is expected to close mid-March with both founders officially starting on March 16th. Financial terms? Undisclosed. Meta didn't say a number. But here's the thing that actually got my attention. Not the acquisition itself, but what Meta's own leadership said about it internally. Vishal Shah for pronunciation, Vishal Shah, in an internal post that was seen by Axios for pronunciation, ACXCOs, said that what the Moltbook team built is a way for agents to verify their identity and connect with one another on their human's behalf, and that the platform establishes a registry where agents are verified and tethered to their human owners. Read that back. A registry. Verified agents, tethered to humans. That's not a social network acquisition. That's Meta buying the early infrastructure for agent identity management on the internet. And when you frame it that way, it makes a lot more sense why they moved on it. Because this isn't Meta randomly picking up a fun meme platform. They've been building toward this. They acquired the AI agent startup Manus for pronunciation, Manus, back in December. They dropped $14.3 billion into Scale AI last year and then hired its CEO to run their superintelligence unit. They've publicly committed to spending somewhere between $115 and $135 billion on AI infrastructure in 2026 alone. Moltbook is a small puzzle piece in a very large and very deliberate picture. My take? 5 years from now, when AI agents are a routine part of how people work and interact online, and I do think that's where we're headed, whoever owns the identity and verification layer for those agents has enormous leverage. And Meta just bought an early version of exactly that. Most people dismissed Moltbook as a weird internet moment. I think it was a land grab that just happened to come wrapped in absurdist content about robot religion. All right, now, Nvidia, and this one is a little more technical, but I promise it's worth it. The platform is called NemoClaw for pronunciation, NeMoClaw, and it sits on top of Nvidia's existing NeMo ecosystem, which was already a toolkit for building, training, and managing AI agents at enterprise scale. NemoClaw is the next evolution of that. Packaged, branded, and going open source. Wired broke the story on March 9th, citing people with direct knowledge of Nvidia's plans. The official announcement was expected at GTC 2026 in San Jose. For pronunciation, San Jose, with Jensen Huang's keynote on March 16th. So, depending on when you're watching this, we might already have the full picture. But here's what was already confirmed before the keynote. Nvidia has been actively pitching NemoClaw to enterprise software companies. The list of partners they've been approaching includes Salesforce, Cisco, Google, Adobe, and CrowdStrike, for pronunciation, CrowdStrike. I want you to think about that list for a second. Salesforce runs enterprise, CRM, and business workflow. Cisco owns infrastructure and networking. Google brings cloud reach and AI platform scale. Adobe dominates document-heavy and creative work. CrowdStrike handles security. If you sat down and designed a list of partners that would put your AI agent platform inside every major corner of enterprise IT, you'd basically write that exact list. And then there's this detail, which I think is actually the most strategically interesting part. NemoClaw will be accessible regardless of whether a company's systems run on Nvidia chips. Hardware-agnostic from Nvidia, the company whose entire empire was built on hardware lock-in through CUDA, for pronunciation, COODA. That's a real shift in strategy. It's the same playbook Meta ran with Llama. Give away the software, get massive adoption, and let the hardware demand follow naturally when every company suddenly needs to run it at scale. The technical foundation is already there too. NemoClaw builds on Nvidia's NeMo Agent Toolkit and Agent Intelligence libraries, open source tools that already let developers link multiple agents together, even when they're running on different frameworks. And sitting alongside this is Nemotron 3, for pronunciation, NeMo 3, the new model family Nvidia specifically designed for multi-agent systems. Nemotron 3 Nano delivers 4 times higher throughput than its predecessor, and it's already being picked up by Accenture, CrowdStrike, Cursor, Deloitte, Oracle, Palantir, Perplexity, ServiceNow, and Zoom. That's not a beta user list, that's full enterprise adoption from day one. Oh, and Jensen Huang called the openclaw agent protocol, which underpins a lot of this wave, the most important software release probably ever. That quote has been floating around, and I keep coming back to it because Jensen isn't someone who says things like that for hype. He says them when he means them. So let me zoom out for a second, because I think the most interesting thing about this week isn't either of these stories on its own. It's what they are when you put them next to each other. Meta is building the social and identity layer for AI agents. Who they are, who they belong to, how they interact with each other and with humans in online spaces. Nvidia is building the deployment and management layer, how enterprises run agents at scale, connect them to their existing software stacks, and keep them secure and auditable. These aren't competing approaches. They're two different floors of the same building going up at the same time. 6 months ago, AI agents were something you saw at a conference demo. Today, Meta is making acquisitions for them, Nvidia is pitching enterprise partnerships for them, and some of the biggest software companies in the world are signing up as early adopters. That timeline is moving faster than I think most people realize. And I'll be honest, I find that exciting. Not in a naive technology solves everything way, in a the ground is genuinely shifting, and it's fascinating to watch kind of way. There are real questions about what it means to have verified AI agents operating on your behalf in social spaces. There are real questions about enterprise security when you've got multi-agent systems running autonomously inside business infrastructure. Those questions are worth asking seriously, but the fact that we're asking them now, in 2026, and that the biggest companies in the world are already building the infrastructure to answer them, that feels like progress to me. Real, tangible, messy progress.